Am I streamed the right type of way? You know what? I set it for not this. I set it for not this. So you know what? This is really getting on my nerves today. But you know what? We'll rock with it because I don't have time. So we will switch this. I hate having to switch the orientation, man. Orientation is block, rotate device back. Okay. Is this the way it's supposed to be? Let me know if this is the way it's supposed to be, fellas. I guess so. All right. We're streaming upright. I don't like streaming like this, but it's whatever. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's Monday. It's Monday and we are live, so I know I'm gonna have to do this from here on out. Reuse this for later, but this is some of the things you go through when you go live. So I have about 30 minutes, maybe 40, to get a morning workout in. And what I'm going to do is a new routine that I was trying last week, where it's a combination of cardio and bench, right? So start off about 10 minutes on the bike, get my legs warmed up, and my heart warmed up, all that. And then, I cannot get it together this morning. Then, follow up by 10 reps, 225 on the bench press. So, my goal is 100 reps, so that means 10 sets. So, first, I don't know. If I go 10 minutes, let me go 10 minutes on this bike. And so, in between sets, it'd be 5 minutes on the bike. So, I'm start off first block, 10 minutes, put it on level 11. Put it on level 11. So, I did this last week, and I got mine done in about 40 minutes. Now, I've been having some technical difficulties this morning. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Yes, it's International Chest Day. So I have been slacking, to keep it a buck with you. I have been slacking, just waiting to get to the gym for my client later on. I'm like, I'll bench then. And I can't go as heavy with him as I would by myself. And so with that being said, there's nothing stopping me from working out at home to get the routine done that I want. So when I go with my client later, I do the accessory work, dumbbells, cables, things like that. So I'm like, I want to get myself back into the routine because for a while I was doing every Monday 10 sets of 10 with 225. So now it's like, let me do 10 sets of 10, then add cardio in between. So if you've been following me for a while, subscribe to the channel for a while. Shout out to all my subscribers only chat right now in this live. And when I started going live, I think I'm jumping subjects right now. When I started going live this morning, and I was having all these technical difficulties. It's like my sound wasn't right. I couldn't get my microphone to work. And I really didn't plan on having the orientation up right, like so. I really didn't. But we're here. Because my purpose is I wanted to not reformat, repurpose. So just like kind of like with my thing with bench pressing, I was bench pressing every Monday, 10 sets of 10 because I wanted my overall volume to go up. And that alone used to take me probably about an hour. And then it got to 45 minutes. And then it got to about 35 minutes. I can do 10 sets of 10, with adequate breaks of 225. And you get thrown off. But find a way to get back online and get back to the regular scheduled programming of what, I was doing. So if you do have an interruption or inconvenience, whether it's in your fitness journey or whatever you learn through in life, show must go on. Show must go on. So we're at 3 minutes right now. I haven't been live in a while because I've been hurt. My Lakers lost. Oh my gosh. God, oh, that was sloppy. That was sloppy, man. That was sloppy. Nobody to blame, but the better team won. The better team won. I was crushed. I was crushed. So been quiet for a while. Plus, I just been occupied, busy. However you wanna say it. And then it's like, okay, what the post? What to go live about? I have several different articles I want to read off eventually, but hey, let's throw a workout in. Let's throw a workout in. All right, let's throw a workout in, and we can deal with other stuff later. But cardio before weights, or weights before cardio, or option number 3, both. Find a way to do them both. So I am finding a way to do both. It's not an either or. It's like, okay, do I want to do cardio before I hit the weights, or vice versa? Obviously, what you see me doing right now is cardio. So cardio first. I prefer it. You know, people can argue, oh, if you're stronger or not, and this is why, or if you're stronger or not, as far as when you get to strength training or weightlifting, if you're stronger or not, if you lose energy, you know, I'll say this, it's not universal, it's for each individual. Personally, I don't want to say I like to tire myself out before I hit the weights, but in a way I do, because I'm testing myself. How strong am I? How strong am I at my weakest? How strong am I at, let's say, most fatigued? Because that's what everything will come down to, endurance. You know, what can you withstand when you're out of breath, when you're fatigued? That's when the real pressure comes on. So I like to put myself in those type of situations, and I'm a lot stronger. And then, well, I'm a lot stronger than what I think, and you are a lot stronger than what you think in that process, right? But you won't know unless you try. You know, the first couple of times you'll be uncomfortable. It's like, oh man, I'm so tired, or I'm out of breath when I'm lifting this weight. I did cardio, and then you'll get to the point where you won't be as much. You understand what I'm saying? So don't think it's the end of the world if, oh, I'm sticking strictly to weights and then cardio. Go for it. I'm just telling you what I prefer. So I've trained myself to a point to withstand, you know, the fatigue of, oh my gosh, man, and the weights are so heavy. I shouldn't have done cardio. I mean, I've been there before, but I've also fought my way through it. Give myself a couple breaths, give myself a couple minutes to recover. It'll be fine. It ain't the end of the world. You know, you come to find out, people say that, ain't that strong anyway, so it really don't make that big of a difference. You know, seeing people on roids, off roids, kind of the same excuses. Just how strong are you? Point blank period. Forget all the other stuff. How strong are you naturally? How strong are you naturally? Just by yourself. I think everybody should know, you know, without any type of super soldier serum or anything like that. Who are you? Who are you really? You know, my morning workout right now is sponsored by coffee. Coffee. I've had some coffee. I use honey as my sweetener and some silk. Vanilla unsweetened almond milk is my creamer. 1 cup and I'm Gucci. And speaking of that, finally got a hold of some light roast Starbucks coffee. Now, I've heard the lighter the roast, the more caffeine it has. I don't know, but it was pretty decent. A lot of times I don't like Starbucks coffee, so I got the ground coffee. So to make my own coffee in the morning. But it's pretty good. But that coffee and fresh pressed juices. Fresh pressed vegetable juice with fruit juice. Those are my pre-workouts, all right? Because if you can't be, I don't want to say if you can't be motivated by that, it's not so much motivation. Some people really don't have high energy levels. And so they feel they need an upper in regards to their, you know, pre-workout. I don't preach against it. I'm just telling you that it's a possibility you may not need it as much as you think you do, but I'm not you. So just like you are not me. So the energy levels and requirements, it's all different. And the reason why I bring that up, because it's a question I get asked by new clients or just people. What is my opinion about pre-workouts? My answer is do what you feel is best for you. I've had my experience in pre-workout, so I don't ever talk from a standpoint of no experience. I took some C4 probably back in 2018. I put it on my blog, christiansweightsuccess.net. And man, I was just itching. I was itching. And I'm like, how can I concentrate on weights if I'm itching the whole time? You know, when you got weight under you, you have to focus. You know, you can't have any other distractions. And to me, that pre-workout was a distraction for me. Maybe you get used to it, but what if I don't? I want to be itching the whole time. But I've heard that from several people when it comes to their pre-workout. It's like, oh, it makes me itch. It makes me itch. And so, yeah, you know, you got to do what's best for you, whatever type of energy source. After this, I'll have a smoothie. And then go to the gym for some more. I may try to do some stair climber on there. And guess what? I ain't even started my Apple Watch, yo. So here we go. About 3 weeks ago, my Apple Watch was broke. The screen, display, whatever, it was broke. Kept flinging off, but I got some Gorilla Glue. Glued the edges, and now we good. So we are at the 950 mark. We're at the 950 mark. Going for 10. Okay, it's 8:36. All right, so now I'm gonna go right into the bench press. I'm gonna go right into the bench press. That was my warm up. So we got 225 on the docket right here. And I think this incline may be too high for me for this particular setting. But all right, so this ain't really about speed, but I'm under a time crunch right now, and I want to get this done. So what I got in the background, I got the old school Tracy McGrady Houston Rockets. So now we got 10, 225. All right, bro. And I feel like I'm too high up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that is set number 1. So set number 1 of 10. So now we just come back to the bike and 5 minutes. 5 minutes now. We got 5 minutes. Got these big clunker shoes on, but speaking of shoes and feet, as far as plantar fasciitis, you know that I've been battling that for a while. Feeling better. I've been feeling a lot better. I have gotten a lot of fluid and a lot of water off of my body. I'm pretty much primarily been on liquids, water, tea, soups, smoothies, protein shakes, fresh juices of fruits and vegetables for about like 3 weeks now. You know, I eat like once a week. That may be a half a cup of rice, some trail mix. But my body's feeling so much better. I've been in so much pain for the last year and a half, about a year, whether it's emotional or physical. And I've just been feeling a lot better right now. I had to get myself together. Probably about 3 weeks ago, I had gotten really sick. And I just knew it was just time for me to stop wilding out. Been wilding. So, been doing that for about 3.5 weeks now, and I've been feeling so much better. So going back to endurance and how strong are you? You know, I've done these liquid fast, juice fast, however you want to categorize it, for years, right? And I'm always at my strongest when I'm at my lowest. I'm always at my strongest when I'm at my lowest caloric intake. So once again, it's like, what can you do when you got nothing in you? How strong are you? Who are you, right? And in every fast you go through, you have these tests of yourself, of what you can endure, what you can't endure, and your perspective on a lot of things change. And that's fine. That's natural. That's what happens, right? So even right now, you can hear me breathing differently. You can hear me starting to pant or control my breathing. Panting is not the way. So this is cardio and weights. And I did this last week. Right now my heart rate is at 140. I think I got up to maybe like 150, 155. But deep breathing, right? You go through that, your first 3 sets, if you want to duplicate this. But how strong are you? You know, if it's not about speed, you're not rushing yourself, but you know what you can do. Don't spend too much time waiting to press it, the weight on the bench. You just go. And you get tired. By that 8th set, I'm like, let me get this over with. But it's fun. But it is fun. So, coming up on the 3-minute mark. What did you guys do for the weekend? Let me look in the chat. Big Ruck, he blamed LeBron. I blame Luka. I watched. Matter of fact, in that game, they came out so lethargic. 1, 2, Luka is predictable. He kept coming up the court and driving to the right constantly. When he would come up to the court, drive to the left, he would turn his back. And I hate when you turn your back and try to dribble up court or back down from the half-court line, because you can either get the over and back, somebody could blitz you on the wrong side, and it's a steal, it's a turnover. I just hate that. And it was predictable. He kept doing it over and over again. They didn't have a center. Rudy Gobert, whatever. The Lakers made him look like Shaq out there, man. It was crazy. So it's easy to say LeBron, but that came down to coaching. That came down to rotation and lack thereof. You know, I don't know why some players played, why some didn't. You know, I really felt like Connect could have really been a great asset for this team, but when that trade didn't go through, man, you just saw it. You just saw the chemistry just. We could have just did enough with just Luka, and that was just it. You know, that was it. The AD trade, the AD was big enough as far as the depletion or the absence of AD. But now you're trying to trade the youngins for somebody who just didn't pan out. You know, being a Lakers fan, you see this stuff happen over and over and over and over again. This crazy stuff. When it comes to our trades, we have the most craziest stipulations. You know what I mean? All right, so that's 5 minutes. So now we go back to the bench press. Go back to the bench press. All right. So now we're going back to 10 reps. Somebody said I was praising the Lord about doing that. And I'm like, so be it. But I'm just trying to make sure my arms are loose. 1, 2, arms back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Back to the bike. But I gotta get my towel. Alrighty. And we're just gonna keep this rotation going. All right, another 5 minutes. Hopefully I don't break my remote. My remote is on the ground. But here we are. So we're back. So that was set number 2. You keep track for me. Set number 2 the bench press. And remember, we started off here. We're ending off on the bench press. So another 5 minutes. Time is right now 8:44. And I don't know. Can I make it? You think I can make it? You think I can finish all of this by, so 5 times 8 is, rest 40 minutes alone on cardio, so 30. So I should be done by 9:20. 9:20 in a perfect world. I'm trying to do some time math in my head. But what's been up with you? What's been up with you? Definitely need a home gym situation for the workout. Yeah, it's about the best thing that I did, man. You know, when you upgrade, you get more space. I was in an apartment, and I'm blessed to get a house. And you just building from, man, I had some dumbbells that I carried over from my apartment, some iron, I think it was like some 25 pounds, some resistant bands, and some ab rollouts, just little knick-knack stuff. But man, when I got on this floor to like do some core work, you know, some sit-ups or push-ups, just felt nothing but concrete. So started investing into better mats. That's like, well, what happened if we got a softer floor? Forget the mats. Or it's in addition to. Let me correct myself. And so, got some flooring, got some mirrors, and just got some #more weight. Got some more weights, and treadmill and a bike. And it just kept building and building and building and building. Just got blessed with an elliptical. Don't know where to put it at yet. So once I get that cleaned off, I may bring it down here or use it. I don't know. But working out at home, it's so good because you get to clear the cobweb before you go outside. Hopefully, depending on how much time you got in the morning. But I prefer morning workouts. What do you prefer? Morning workouts or evening workouts? I used to do both. I used to work out late, probably about 2012, 2013, somewhere around in 2014. And then they switched my work schedule at work. And it was just downhill from there, man. And so I wasn't able to work out at night. I had to learn how to work out in the morning a certain type of way. And then they switched my schedule again. So then I just started working out in the evenings or early afternoons. And man, there's nothing like just working out first thing in the morning where you don't have the stresses of the day from the standpoint of everybody else's stress bogging you down. You know, at least you kind of go in with some type of armor and protection when you work out in the morning before you go out in the world and deal with all the craziness. You know, it's enough to when you get up and shut your alarm off on your phone if you use an alarm. Naturally, we're going to check our messages. Naturally, we're going to check social media, all that kind of stuff. And what you initially see when you open that app, it's like, golly, it's just problems. So I just shut it and go forward. Just shut it and just go forward with your day. And I'm like, okay, let me go work out because I can see my algorithm is showing me nothing but insanity. It's like, you know, when people say, oh, well, that's because that's all you're watching. It's like, if that's all you're serving me, I have no other choice. I don't say another choice, but to interact with it. I want to react to it one way or another. But there's a lot of good stuff on my timeline. There's a lot of good stuff on your timeline. And you interact with that. So why don't they show those type of posts more frequently or just as much? Or maybe I'm paying attention to something that is just equal, something I don't like. That's the thing about where I'm at right now, just evaluating what it is that I'm seeing, right? Is it intentional or is it conditional? Is it intentional or is it conditional? Is it intended for me to see or is it a condition based off of what I've been doing, you know? So a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of self-evaluation, and we are coming up on set number 3 because 5 minutes are up. And we're just moving along. Jimmy Harrison, baseball season. I was always interested to play baseball, but just never got to it, man. Just never got to it. Just as a kid, had certain responsibilities that kind of kept me away from that. But I remember a while ago, I'm like, well, even when it comes to baseball, I'm like, it needs a time limit. It needs a time limit. And I think they just put a time limit in, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Player, not too much. 8. Pressing for my heels. 9. I need 2 more. I kind of lost count. All right. So set number 3. So what set is that? That's number 3. Is that number 3? Is that set number 3? Is that set number 3? I think it is. So it is what it is. All right. So how y'all feeling this morning? Got through with Jimmy Harrison. Who is Jimmy Harrison? Jimmy Harrison. Jimmy Harrison. Is that a? Well, you know what? Let me not even try to ask because I don't even know if that's a professional player or not. I don't watch baseball like that. Only when maybe the last game of the World Series because I know it's over. And usually basketball season is right there. Usually basketball season is right there. But we're doing another 5 minutes, working on endurance, working on strength, and how strong can I be during fatigue right now. As far as energy level, right now, I'm more thirsty than I am tired or anything. So after this bench press, I'm gonna drink some juice that I got sitting in my mason jar on my step right now. But I'm looking at this old San Antonio-Houston game, just looking at a lot of players. Devin Brown on the Spurs. I remember they tried to make him more than what he really was. It was cool, it wasn't bad. It was just decent. The Houston Rockets, Bobby Sura, Tracy McGrady. I didn't know they had Yao Ming and Mutombo and Battier and T-Mac. And they didn't win the championship? Maybe because my Lakers were there. Maybe because, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is post-Shaq era from the Lakers when it was just Kobe. Because I remember, I think Kobe went on a 10-game streak. He was getting like 50. And I remember one of them 50 balls, he dunked on Yao Ming in that game. So, but that was when he was without Shaq. So I'm trying to figure out what year this is. Let me see. Watching YouTube while on YouTube and working out. December 9th. So this was 04. December 9th, 04. Yeah, T-Mac versus Spurs. Wasn't the biggest T-Mac fan. But I had a couple pair of shoes though. They were decent. I think I had some orange ones. I don't know why I picked orange. Maybe that was the only size. That was probably a 13 or a 14. Size 13, size 14, and what was it, 04? So T-Mac had been here. So yeah, so I was probably maybe about 22, 24, somewhere around there. But there's times, man, you're just looking at the game, looking at basketball, and how it's changed. Denver's out of it. I haven't watched enough of OKC to evaluate and have a strong opinion of what they are and what they're not, but obviously they are who they are because they are in the Western Conference Finals versus Timberwolves. So that should be interesting, but I'm so glad The Boston Celtics are out of it. That brings joy to my heart. No Boston Celtics and no Clippers. If we out of it, they don't need a chance to win the championship. And you know what? Got what I wanted this year. Somewhat. Wanted the championship, but as long as the Clippers and the Celtics don't get one, it means just as much to me. It means just as much to me. Call me a hater. That's fine, because I don't like the Celtics and I don't like the Clippers. So I would be. I am a Lakers fan. I'm a Lakers fan. Been that. So we got the Knicks and we got the Pacers. Now that was an old school rivalry. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, the Davis brothers. Was Jermaine O'Neal playing for them at the time? I can't remember. I don't know if he was still in Portland during that time or not. But anyway. Oh my gosh. Reggie Miller. John Starks. What is it? Anthony Mason, Knicks, Patrick Ewing, all of that. All right, 5 minutes are up. Now, we're going to set number 4. Set number 4. Okay, see, she win it all. You think so? Yeah, man, I ain't watched enough of Shy's game to believe in it or not, but that man gets, like 30? 39. He's supposed to get the MVP last year. Some people felt he should have got it last year. Who got it last year? Was that Jokic? Who got it again last year? Now, this time we do very good. 4, 5, I'm finally warmed up. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. All right. So, now that set number 4 is done, we're coming back to the bike. Okay, see, you want it on. Okay, your son. Okay, my son. Okay, gotcha. I don't even know what I put in here. I think some celery, cucumber. Was it apples? No, pears. Now, usually I track it, but this time around, I haven't been. This time around, I haven't been tracking because I'm going off a feel, versus being upset with a number or obsessed with a number. So this is the beginning of set number 5. So we're halfway through. So it's 8:57, 20. Yeah, I should be done right around there. But I'll put it on speed 11, level, number 5. But I'm bogged down with enough numbers right now. So just going off a feel, and I've been feeling so much better. And I want to keep it that way for as long as I can. I'm never hungry to a point to where I start seeing stars or anything like that. That is far from it. People's conception of intake has to broaden more than their own understanding and entertain that there are, or realize there are other options to intake food. I just so happen to do it in a different way for a period of time. And I've had great results with it. All the questions of where's protein, and you can live, your body can sustain what you got right now, especially if you're a heavier person coming down. And it goes back to how strong can you be? How strong are you at your best? I told you I'm more stronger when I'm at my lowest point of caloric intake. Don't know why it makes sense, but it makes sense for me, and that's just being in tune with your body and know what you can and can't do. So being so caught up on asking questions for a certain block of law, you have to figure out your own body. And I see there's a lot of investment and time into
trying to get certain questions answered, that is really subjective to each individual and to the individual asking it. But you have not because you ask not. So if you don't ask a question, you're not going to know the answer. So I get it. I get it when, when people are asking questions about, their health and certain exercises. I used to be stuck in a box until I realized everybody's got different variances. Because when you actually work with people and you work with the GP, aka the general population, it's not a one size fit all in regards to workouts. From dumbbells to cables to barbells, everybody's gonna be different, man. There's some things that you can try to stick to as close as possible, but you have to make adjustments. That's another part of life of making adjustments. You're dealing with the GP, you're gonna have to make adjustments to your training program, or how certain exercises can be done versus should be done, or what's the most safest. And sometimes you have to abandon the whole exercise. I've abandoned an entire exercise for a client because it was an executive call I had to make. I'm like, that's going to be very problematic. It's not worth it. Some exercises just aren't worth it for people. And that depends on what the exercise is. I'm not going to tell you which one is or which one isn't. It's just, you have to just get the experience for yourself, whether you're training yourself or whether you're training with somebody else or working out, whatever it is, you're going to have to figure that out because everything is so subjective. God, I hate airballs. Everything is so subjective that I find it funny when people overcommit to one way. Whatever. So if anybody is foreign policing you and you really are trying through an injury, or this is just how your body works, or this is how your body looks when you're executing this movement, just do what's best for you. And if you're really serious about perfect form and critiquing, then just hire you a personal trainer that can help you in real time to do it. I don't necessarily think you're going to find it even listening to me. You're not going to find it listening to anybody. You have to be right there with somebody. That's how I believe it, in real time. There's only so much this internet world can do for you. There comes a point in time where you got to get on the bike and move yourself. You got to get under that weight and move it yourself. You got to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody else. And 3, 2, 1. All right, so now, what set are we on? What set are we on? The bench press. What set are we on? What set are we on? Look at Yao Ming. I thought Yao Ming should have played a lot longer. Yao Ming did not play long enough for the hype that he got, honestly. And I'm not, everybody loves to say, oh, I'm not afraid to say it. And it's like, well, to me, he should have just played a lot longer. But I think he has a condition going on, so there's that. Now, if he didn't, then whatever. And he got inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's crazy. He was just so hurt. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is set number 5. So we halfway there. I'm halfway there. All right, yes, sir. Thank you. Set number 5. So now this will be the start of set number 6. Set number 6. And that halfway point is different. When you go to the halfway point of anything, because it's like, look at it 2 different ways. Or several. 1, I'm right in half. So if I stop now, it's adequate. But you didn't accomplish the mission, right? Some days it is like that. It's like, man, I just got half. All right, I'll do the other half later, or I'll build up to the other half. I thought I could do it all. Today, can't do it. Can't do it all today. And you build up So I was the same way with the 10, set to 10. The bench press, I'm like, man, when I got to set number 5, I'm like, all right, I'll try next week. Till eventually, I was able to do several weeks, back to back, 10 sets of 10. So now I'm taking that program and now adding a bike ride between the sets and just trying to see what my body can do. Eventually, I want to add running because my foot has been feeling better. I want to see what that's like. That's probably going to be crazy. 5-minute jog in between, probably going to be crazy. So stay tuned with that. But that halfway point, when you look at it like, okay, we're resetting, so only got 5 more to go. You can either start set 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But either way, you are more closer to being done than you are not being done. Put it like that. And so I think about that with a lot of times when I'm doing high volume stuff, just a lot of reps or whatever. It's like by that 11th rep, if I'm going to like 15, I'm like, you're almost there. Slow it down. Sometimes you do gotta slow it down to just endure more. Sometimes we think we go just constant, one speed. That ain't it. Sometimes you gotta slow it down. Sometimes you just gotta slow it down to endure. Oh my God, I can't believe you hit that shot. But this is the one you got 13 points in like 5 seconds or 24 seconds. But there are times when you gotta slow down in order to finish it. So you concentrate, when you bench pressing, sometimes I do get out of breath. If I'm going to like 20. If I'm going to 20, I'll get out of breath. But by that 15th rep, I just gotta slow it down. I may be going fast, but that 15th rep, because the volume and intensity I'm going, I may have to slow down for those last 5 reps to power my way through. So you're gonna go through that up and down, the interval phase when you are working out, and it's okay. Even if you do gotta put it down on rep number 15, it's still 15 reps. It's still 15 reps. I'm just trying to get to 20. My benchmark is different. You know what I mean? My benchmark is different, and it can be different depending on the workout. So I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm so different. This ain't depending on the workout. Change it up. Change the intensity. Explore. Entertain your options. Make it fun. I don't like when everything is just in a parameter. And I get those type of questions or I see comments as if there aren't multiple ways to do one thing. And there are. Just look at the roads. There's multiple ways to get to a destination. So why is it in fitness people feel like it's this way or the highway? These are just people who have egos and just do it because I say so. Once you get past that, you'll begin to have fun. You'll begin to have more fun working out. You know what I'm saying? And not get so bogged down, because there are those who don't have a home gym, are hesitant about going to a gym because of judgment. And I say it like this: you're in your head too much, 'cause ain't nobody thinking about you like that. And maybe you want somebody to think about you like that. Or maybe somebody is thinking about you and avoiding somebody. But either way, does it sound like an excuse? Let's just go ahead and say yes. The thing is, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? Are you going to just keep staying there and being a prisoner of your own mind? Because a lot of times, man, it's like you really think people be looking at you in the gym. They don't. And even if they do, so what? It is what it is. If I see people staring at me, I walk up to them. If I'm going to that path, I will say, what's up? You never know what people are looking at. Sometimes they're looking through you because they're in between the sets. All right? Everything ain't about you. So, what set are we on? 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 Bench press is number 6. This is number 6. All right. I've been seeing a lot of people do Larson presses where they have their legs out. I haven't even looked up what that is supposed to do. That's too hard. I hate when I look like that. This is better. Bring my elbows in. Keep tight. Damn chest. 1, 2. I'm really trying to press off my left hand. Hey, because that's my legs. That's my bad side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, I said slow that pace down. 10. Alright, now going back to the bike. How you feeling? 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 All right. Number 7. Number 7. There we go. Got these big shoes on. Number 7. There we go. All right. All right. So, what time do you plan on working out today? What time do you plan on working out? We're at about. Remember when I couldn't start my Apple Watch, but it got me at 34 minutes. And I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. Okay. Well, what's going on? What is going on? We are on set number 7 of 5 minutes on the bike. And then follow up with 10 reps, a flat bench press with 225. So this is my chest and cardio workout routine. It's home workout, first thing in the morning. First is subjective. First is subjective because it's not the first thing. First thing I did this morning, get some coffee. And that is my pre-workout. That is my pre-workout, my coffee, and some fresh juice. Still got some down over there. And my energy level is actually good. I'm more anticipating getting out of here on time versus me being, tired or not necessarily tired. It's just, all right, you're gonna think of it. It's set number 7. I'm more closer to being done than not. And this is gonna take time. So if I got, 3 more sets? No. So 15 minutes. There's 5, then 8, another 5. So about 15 more minutes. Yeah, I tell you, I'll be done by 9. I don't think 9:20. Maybe 9:30 right now. Maybe 9:30. And that'll be good. So shout out to all my subscribers who are in the chat right now. I love it when subscribers only. You all are so chill. You all are so peaceful because you chose to be here. I don't know why YouTube is ran the way it is as of late, but when you in somebody else's house, you gotta abide by their rules, or you can leave. All right, so the choice is okay, go to IG for the same thing, go to Facebook for the same thing. I just go to YouTube because at least I have search engine optimization, and it's powered by YouTube. So somebody in the next 10 years can see this video if somebody's looking for a home workout routine that involves weights and cardio, particularly bench press, and particularly a stationary bike. It can get that specific. And that is the beauty when you're making content on YouTube. It'll stay there. There's so many videos I watch to this day from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, that still pops up and is relevant for what it is that I'm looking for. So that is the beauty of YouTube. And every platform has its ups and downs, but I like YouTube for this. Saw the Thunderbolts. Saw the Thunderbolts yesterday, or AKA the new Avengers. Just wanted more action. I just wanted more action. I don't want to say believable action because It's Marvel, you know, it's comic book. I get that, but I don't know if it was where the action was coming from or just the overall action and volume. You know, there was nothing that just wowed me like most Marvel action films do. Was there a message? Yes. Could I relate? I don't know. I don't know so much. Or relatability in regards to, oh, this is what I'm going through, or this is what I'm giving attention to, even if I did go through it. That is that. You know? And somebody chose to write from an angle of what they wanted to concentrate on. You know, that was depression and mental health status and trying to but utilize the family around you or the people around you, even if they are family, even if they are not. You know, friends. Many of us have them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how I took that. All right, so set number 7. Yeah, right now, I'm ready for this to be over with. But I got plenty of time. I wanted to make a smoothie before I left. But here we go. All right, stable. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to number 8. All right, low battery. Oh, snap. Going live. Drain my battery. I need my battery. A little bit of juice. But I ain't juicing. But I am juicing. If you understand what I'm saying. All right, number 8. Does it seem redundant? It does. But so is going to work every day. It's for a purpose. All right? It's for a purpose. So same thing with a workout routine and structure. It's for a purpose. All right? It's for a purpose. It's for a purpose. And being on this predominantly liquid fast, this shirt used to fit like this like 2 weeks ago. Have you seen the videos? But now it's so loose right here. There's so much room, and there's so much room to go. But appreciate what you have at, where you're at, where you come from, to, you know, when you're on your fitness journey, whether it is to lose weight or gain weight, you do have to take time out to give credit to yourself of the changes that you have made thus far. Nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. But as long as you're consistent with your progress, learn how to clap for yourself. And I think that's another part of, let's say, dealing with depression, if we're going to take a page out of the Marvel movie from what I've seen, is learning how to clap for yourself. Learning you have to appreciate you. Yeah. Even though there may be imperfections. There are imperfections because we're not perfect. And you can get caught up in being depressed thinking that you are thinking that you are perfect or you should have been perfect. And that's where a lot of stuff can lie at in regards to mental health status. And even, you know, the health of how you interpret what is being communicated with you too. You ever say something to somebody and they take it completely the wrong way? And it's like, how did you get that from that? You know what I'm saying? But can't always bank on somebody interpreting what you say as your intent. You know, you can have no malice in your intent, how you're communicating with somebody, but that person could take it like you're doing this out of malice. That's because that person may not want to be accountable for what it is that they're doing in their life, and you cannot be responsible for that. You know, and with that being said, you have to learn how to take your space away from those type of situations. You can love people from a distance. I'm not saying totally isolate yourself, but if that is the answer for peace, then isolation you shall have. So, when you're on your weight loss journey or fitness journey, and somebody does not relate or is conducive to you being in this gym or working out or abiding by your diet when you go out socially, then you got to isolate yourself. You got to isolate yourself from that situation. That's all, until you are comfortable enough to be around that situation again, to feel like you have the advantage to control what it is that you say and how you respond. Because that person's going to do whatever that person has been doing. That is that person's personality. And you got a choice whether to stay or go. So if you've been eating right and portioning things out right, and your peers or your mate, isn't, realize it's your journey, not theirs. Just because you're not eating ice cream, that don't mean that they gotta stop. Stop putting that pressure on somebody else and just make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Because you have to take care of you. Now, would it be nice to have more support? I would say, why do you need it? But you can answer, hey, I'm the kind of person that needs more support. Then so be it. Then so be it. Then so be it, if you are. But how strong are you without it? And you may say, I'm just not strong. And that is an answer. But at the beginning of the day, end of the day, you got to get out the bed with your own 2 feet. So you got to learn how to do it as much as you can on your own. But when you need a guide, hire a personal trainer, hire a nutritionist. You have to hire for the structure. You have to pay for the structure. Whether you see somebody on YouTube or whatever, and you can follow their routine, that's fine. But they may have an ebook, they may have a course that if you want more structure, you're gonna have to reach out. That's the thing, you're gonna have to reach out and pay. And that's it. This ain't a thing about, okay, he's talking about money. Okay, you're gonna pay him. If you don't have YouTube Premium right now, you probably encountered an ad. So, that being said, you're always being sold to. You're always being sold to. Just don't look at any content creator in shame because they are. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy mentality to be in. Because if you have knowledge, and yes, you can share it, but to structure it, you as the creator of said content, if you can charge for it, all right, that's number 8. So we're into winter right now. So this is number 9. Number 9. All right. Set number 9. And this is, we're at 48 minutes. The heart rate is at 140. What's at 140? That's decent. So I've been working on my cardio endurance lately. And part of that is doing this. And part of that is cardio and weights. Cardio and weights to build up the endurance, right? To build up the endurance. Now, level 1 to 5, 5 being the most tired. I'm at a 2. I'm at a 2 right now. It's just I get bored with repetition. Just like making your meal prep. On your fitness journey, it gets redundant, same thing over and over again. Or a certain combination of stuff over and again. And it's that law, that parameter to stay in which gets boring. That's all. It just gets boring. But I think when it gets boring, I don't know, make it some flack. But once it gets boring, if you can endure that, that's where the change is at. Or that's where the change can be at. And you take a risk of it because it's like, do I change something now? Or do I stick to the plan? And we've all done that where, hey, let's adjust. And there are times where we do need to adjust the plan. There are times where we do need to adjust the plan. But there are times where we need to stick to the plan. Once we stick to the plan and endure and not change up and switch up, we should be good. You know, that's very beneficial. But during this time, what is it, set number 9? I'm just more bored than my legs are just moving right now. You know, so who's to say? I may do 1 set on the bike, go bench press, then the next one, a 5-minute jog, just to switch up the monotony in it. You know, and that's the beauty of a home gym. You can do exactly like the Hodge twins used to say. Do whatever you want to do. You can do what you want. That's the beauty of it. You can mix up all types of different combinations of home workout. All right, I could do this, get off of here, do some push-ups, do some biceps, anything. It's your routine. Anywhere we can keep the heart rate up, at least above 130, 135, the fat burning zone, consistently. You know, a couple breaks here and there to bring the heart rate back down, just to make sure you're safe. But for the most part, endure. Endure. How long can your heart be at 135 or 140 or 145 before you say enough? Only you can figure that out. And you should be old enough to understand if you are going to push your limits, then have some assistance around. You should be old enough to know that by now. But there are those who don't. But for those who have common sense, whenever you're trying to do some type of endurance test, just make sure you got people around you. Because if you pass out or something like that, you don't want to be by yourself. I wouldn't have gone online, I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't done it before and knew exactly my heart rate ranges. You understand what I'm saying? And it's all about challenging yourself. It's all about challenging yourself. We're in the middle of May. Today is my cousin's birthday. Happy birthday, Jilla, man. 43. My goodness, man. Birthdays. Had my nephew's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, nephew. I got another niece's birthday. 2 nieces' birthdays this month. I got another nephew's birthday next week. And such a joyous time. So being able to celebrate, going out socially, even though you're still on your fitness journey, weight loss, all that kind of good keywords to say. There will be cake, there will be ice cream. All right, you may want some, you may not. You know, in the midst that you don't and you're tempted, just think about how good you're feeling now and what you're going to feel like in the digestion process, not the self-conscious guilt stuff, but in the digestion process. What is your body going to feel like afterwards? And for me lately, it hasn't really been worth it. It hasn't really been worth it to indulge in certain things. What I do indulge in is, what? Some trail mix? All right. You know, so be it. But that's all I just wanted. Other than that, you know, back to the regular schedule program. So I like a fairly mid grip and bench press. About mid grip. You know, can I go wide? Possibly can. I just don't like it. I just don't prefer it. You know, some people grip close in, some people don't. And that's fine. Pressing from my left, because my left is my weakest right now. Trying to flare out, trying to keep my elbows up. 6, 7, I feel my left getting weak. I'm gonna fake think that was 11. Because I think I miscounted like I always do. So that's the end of number 9. Now, it's our last set on the bike. I have my day timed out. Kind of wrong. Alright. And this is why we plan. You know, I didn't necessarily plan this. I didn't plan this live as much as I possibly should. And to keep it a $155 with you, I never do. I never plan a live. I think live, all right, for me is, how am I feeling right now in this moment? How am I feeling right now in this moment? In this moment, feeling good, feeling great. And if I'm feeling good and feeling great, I want to share that with you. And if I'm not feeling great, then I was always told, if you ain't got nothing else to say, nothing else to say, don't say it. So on those days, I stay away. Cool. I don't think everybody in the comment section realizes that when you're going through videos, it's like, man, this person said this on this comment. I ain't even talking about mine. I'm just talking about just regular, going through any type of random comment section on social media. Why did that person write that? This person must be having a bad day. Or this is just who this person is. It gets exhausting. It gets exhausting. I'm getting to the point now on social media. I literally just open up, scroll a couple times, out of there. Out of there. It's kind of the same thing over and over again, but maybe I'm just kind of on a different time right now. Protecting my mind, the type of time that I'm on. Protecting my time, protecting my mind, because you don't want your time to be wasted by somebody feeding your mind garbage. Feeding your mind garbage. And it's not even so much somebody feeding your mind garbage, you feeding it. Because you got a choice whether to stay on that app or not. You know, I like YouTube because I can get right to the visuals of something. Not to sound ignorant, but I don't feel like reading all of that. Especially when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to Facebook, honestly, when it comes to Instagram. They've gone crazy with letting people write too long, yo. I come from Twitter with 140 characters, so anything more than that is uncivilized to me. You know, when Twitter went from what was that, 140 characters, 180, then they went to like 2 something, that was cool, but now people had a whole blog post on there. I'm like, shut up. Jeez, Louise is just too much. You know, my intent for certain social media sites is go there for a quick bit of energy, you know, of updated news, in and out, and that's it. You know, when people are writing essays and it says, read more, and it's like 10 paragraphs on socials, hey man, that's just too much. We need to go back to shortening what people say. I don't want to say it like freedom of speech, no. I'm just saying it's just too much. If you got that much more to say, get a blog, attach the link, make a YouTube video, make a podcast if it's that profound. Because all that writing and all that, put it on wax. For our old school hip hop fans, you don't know what that means. Put it on wax, man. If you bought that life, just put it on wax. All that writing is just too much. Because it's what people's angle, how they say stuff, it ain't necessarily the same energy. You know, when they're either talking to you or they got a video explaining it. It ain't that. You know, I just think that social media just needs to go back to just limiting the amount of characters we all can do. And I'm saying it just for me too. Even if you follow me on some of my socials, 1, I don't post that much. 2, I don't post long texts and paragraphs and dissertations. You know what I mean? That is insane, the amount of time people spend to either whether write it all out, copy and paste it. Just copy and paste a paragraph. Hey, read the rest. Use this link. All this extra texting is just getting out of control, man. It's getting out of control. It's a bore. Just scrolling up and down. This is why I don't spend that much time on socials anymore. It's just giving people way too much time to just write stuff out And maybe I just come from a blog era where it's like you can just go to a blog and just read everything in its context. If somebody wants to read more about your in-depth thinking on a separate platform, not being bogged down on this one, you know what I mean? But that's my little Kanye rant for the moment. We are at 10% battery right now. And I'm on my last 3 seconds. And then we're going to the bench press, and then I gotta hop in the shower and get out of here, man. I gotta get out of here. You know, should have started early. Should have planned it out. But hey, this is what you do once you discipline yourself to get back in the routine or get into a routine of what you are supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And so this is the last one. Ooh, finish. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. The first couple ones was kind of sloppy. Alrighty, so there you have it. 100 reps, 225 flat bench press, along with, what was that, 10? And we've had 9 times 5, 45, so 55 minutes of cardio. Correct me if I'm wrong. But hope to see you soon. I got a major announcement, new sponsorship coming up. If you haven't done it already, please get your breather fit. RMT breathing device. If you don't know about this, link will be in the bio and you will know more. But please, please, please tell somebody you love them today. Peace out.